Hello everyone, this is Professor Raghavendra Adhyapak, KLS College of Commerce. So, in the last class, we have started with unit number 2, Market Forces. So, in this chapter, we already studied regarding meaning of demand, law of demand, and demand schedule. Correct? So, in the today's class, we are going to start with next concept is assumptions for law of demand. Okay, so law of demand will going to apply only if the following conditions are applied. Okay, so there are certain conditions or assumptions, on that basis this law of demand will work. Okay, so in that, first one is no changes in the income of the consumer. Okay, so there should be no any changes in the income level of the consumer, it should be constant. Next is no change in the taste and preference of the customer. Okay, there should not be any change in the taste, preference or choice or a habit of the customer, by which demand will also affect. So in that case, this law of demand will not work. So for that, there should be no change in taste, preference, habit of the customers. Next, no change in the price of related goods. So there should be no any changes in the price of substitutes or related goods. Okay, the goods should not have prestigious value. Prestigious value goods means which are of a high cost or prestigious symbol status products. For example, some diamonds or maybe some arts, paints, etc. In that case, auction or bid will take place and highest price will be quoted for that, and that will be demanded. Correct? So in that case, the law of demand will not apply, because highest the value they purchase. Correct? In the highest value they purchase that particular product. So in this case, the law of demand will not work. Why? What is law of demand says that the customers will purchase more at a lower price and less at a higher price. But in the case of prestigious goods, the people prefer to get the higher priced commodities like paintings, arts and all in the auctions and bids. Correct? Next, no changes in the fashion and technology. Okay, so there should not be any change in fashion and technology. No change in government policy. Okay, so in this case, the government should also not to change any policies by which the demand will be affected. So if there these factors like income of the consumer, taste, habit, preference, related goods price, fashion, technology, government policies, these all should be a constant. In that case only the law of demand is going to apply. Next is exemption to the law of demand. Okay, so in all the cases this law of demand is not going to work. There are certain exemption under which the law of demand is not going to work. They are as follows. First one is inferior goods, or it is called as giffen goods. Okay, so poor quality goods. For example, if there is any China made a mobile is there, handset for rupees 500, even though that mobile price is goes down to rupees 200 or 300, in that case the consumer will not prefer those goods, because they think that more cheaper will be a low quality product. In that case, even though price is less, the consumer will not prefer those goods. So that is called inferior goods, that is low quality products. Next is goods having prestigious value. Already I told that goods having the prestigious values means more values like diamonds and some prestigious or status symbol commodities are preferred at a higher price. Okay, so in that cases the law of demand will not work. Next is price exception or future predictions. Best example is in the stock market. For example, now the price of stock market of particular stock is rupees 10 and it's going to be a rise from 10 to 20. Okay, so once it is raised from 10 to 20, in that case the broker, stock brokers, correct, teji wala, mandi wala, bull, bear, so certain the particular brokers are there. Okay, so in that case they what will do, they even purchase higher at a higher rate. When there is a price is higher, in that case also they purchase more with the future predictions of rise in the prices. Okay, so in that case also this law of demand will not work. Next is fear of shortage. In some cases, the consumer will try to stock more and more at a higher price only. They purchase more and they keep as a stock with the prediction that in the future that may be going to be a shortage. Okay, sometimes LPG cylinders, the people stock at 3 to 4 cylinders in their house with the fear of shortage in the future. So in that cases, the law of demand will not work. Next is change in income. Okay, for example, if a particular person income is now 20,000 rupees monthly, so he is running a middle class family. Okay, so from 20,000, so if goes up to 2 lakh rupees, then automatically his preferences choice will change. In that case, he will not more think about the prices. Even though the prices are raised, he is capable or able to pay for that. In that case, the law of demand will not apply. Change in fashion. Okay, fashion and technology goes on changes. So even though a new technology are costly, but we prefer the new technology, correct? So old technology or maybe old fashion products are maybe a lower price, but still we prefer a new updated versions or updated new technology or a fashion, even though those are at a higher price. So in this case also, law of demand is not going to be work. Next is basic necessities of life. Okay, so some products are maybe basic or basic requirements for the life. Okay, so even though those basic goods price goes up, we cannot stop consuming those products. Okay, for example, now rice is at rupees 40 per kg now. Okay, so even though rice goes up to 40 to 42 rupees or 45 rupees, we have to consume that because it is needed, or it is a minimum consumption is required to be alive, correct? So in that cases, which are basic necessities, for that law of demand is not going to be work. Next is brand loyalty. There are certain customers who are stick to a particular brand. For example, some people are there, those who more believe in Ayurvedic and all, they maybe stick to Patanjali. So in that case, if the prices of Patanjali toothpaste, shampoo, whatever may be, if the prices are raised, the still that particular person purchase only those products because of brand loyalty. So in case of brand loyalty, the law of demand is not work. Now next is unavoidable circumstances. Okay, in certain cases there will be an emergency, or maybe in case of medicines, there are many patients like who is having BP, sugars, okay, cancers, many diseases are there, and those tablets price if rise, we cannot do anything. Okay, so even though price of those tablets is raised, we have to consume only, correct? In that cases, these are unavoidable circumstances. Okay, so in that case also, law of demand is not going to be applied. Next is ignorance. Sometimes consumers will not bother about the price. It may increase or decrease. Whatever they wanted, they just purchase. So in the case of ignorance, the law of demand is not going to be work. So these are the 10 exemptions under which the law of demand is not work. Okay.